Welcome to the advisory studio, and today I want to talk about positioning. This seems to be a challenging topic for a lot of women in business. I know it was challenging for me, still remains a bit challenging as well, but I think I've managed to make some headway and I feel I can speak on the topic today. So what do we mean by positioning? Positioning in any business is, the best way I can articulate it is, I was on a flight to somewhere and I watched the movie The Materialist. I will put it in the show notes, obviously, so you can get what I'm trying to say. But what The Materialist, the main character lady, I don't even know her name, and I don't want to give it away in case you haven't watched the movie, because I hate to give away the whole storyline. But the reason why I'm including it here is because it depicts the perfect understanding of positioning. When I started in business, a lot of experts used to say, go find where your clients hang out, your avatar, right? And it used to be, what does your avatar mean? What's the age? Where do they live? What's their spending criteria? And maybe this does apply, but it's not as easy to apply when you are doing B2B, right? So business to business working. Maybe so in B2C, where you probably need to identify your avatar, what age, what's the lifestyle, what are they spending and what do they spend time doing, maybe. But there's not enough information that goes around regarding how to find where your clients are, especially if you're wanting to go into B2B business model. Okay, so business, just I guess to give context, B2B business model is when you, the business, are serving another business. So you're not, the difference between B2B and B2C. B2C is, I'm a business serving individual clients. So an example would be, let's say the supermarkets, right? Their clients are individual families, right? So supermarkets will have both. They serve as individual families, right? But they also serve businesses. So businesses will come and buy them, spend money in Coles. Coles is our local supermarket in Australia, equivalent to Tesco's and Asda's and those shops in the UK. In the US, that would be your Walmart, your Target, I guess, because Target in the US does some food. I noticed when I was in Denver a couple of weeks ago. Where's our Target here? They don't sell food, which is interesting. I'm digressing, but my point is, B2C is your business, you're serving individuals. So maybe you serve a mother, you serve a man, you serve a family, not a business entity. B2B is when a business is serving all their clients in another business, right? So this is the information that I could not find when I was starting my business. I heard a lot around finding your avatar and find out where they hang out. And that's kind of misleading, because hang out is probably not a professional term, I don't think. And it makes it really challenging, especially if you're trying to figure out who your client is, right? So I'm not going to go too much into the whole mechanics of positioning. What I wanted to give you insight today, if that's where you're stuck at the moment. Say, how do I identify my client, and where? No, not how you identify a client, but where do they hang out? How do I find? How do I get them? In order for you to start talking to them, in order for you to start sharing your expertise, in order to start selling to them, right? How do you get them into your ecosystem? Okay, and what makes it simple, The Materialist movie. What she did, the lady, the main actor in the film, without giving too much, is she's a dating agency. She works for a dating agency, right? So she didn't own the company. She worked for a dating agency, and I think they don't quote me, because when you're watching in an aeroplane, you're half asleep, half awake, and it's a 16-hour flight. So right, but I remember, I think they were commission based. I think so. Obviously, the agents of this dating agency, it's up to you how I find my clients. But this particular lady, right, she went to weddings. This is where she went to find her clients. And I thought that was a genius. When I was watching it, I thought, this is genius. This is a typical case of understanding your client. Because if the more you understand your client, whether it's B2C, whether it's B2B, then you can attract them better. She literally went to weddings. So why did she go to weddings, right? Weddings are people getting married, everyone gathered there, they're celebrating, right, the bride and the groom, right? But when you watch the film, you'll see why she positioned herself there. There are a lot of single women who are sad from the film, who are sad and who are looking for something similar to, obviously, the bride who's found her man, right, the groom. Similarly, there are a lot of single men who were there, right, at the weddings. They're also sad, melancholic, they're looking for their bride as well. So she'd go and literally pitch to them. By pitching, I mean, she'd say, are you looking for, are you single? Are you looking for love? Are you looking, to find a mate, a soulmate? I can help you with that. So, all right, we can argue, the morality of what she did or the ethics around what she did. But my point is, she knew where to find her people. That there was many single men and women who go to weddings Okay, they might be supporting the bride and the groom, the relative, the friends, but a part of them is aching for that similar thing, right? And she just went and spoke to me and said, you know what, I can help you. I'm part of a dating agency. I help people. This is my success rate. Can I help you? And before you know it, they're in her books and she's helping them find a partner, right? So obviously she does a thing. She gets them, start dating. She matches them with people in her books, and right, that's what she does. And the rest of the story, I guess I won't share that story. If you want to watch the story, then you can watch the movie. But my point is, she positioned herself at the right place to find her clients. So what's my point? You need to be able to identify where your client is so you can speak to them. Okay, and one of the things that's worked or that's working for a lot of professionals is simply being on LinkedIn. And I have to admit, I was a bit slower to go on LinkedIn than I should have, because ever since I went on LinkedIn, updated my profile to suit, who I was speaking to, who I wanted to attract into my ecosystem, who I wanted to hear me, then LinkedIn is your platform. If you're a professional, if you're a business, LinkedIn is probably one of the easiest because it's free, right? That you don't spend unless you're going to do ads. And you can always raise your package to sales navigator if you want more leads. But the basic starting point, LinkedIn is free. Social media is free. So, and then what I learned from attending another event was one of the guys was leading it. He goes, you know what, you just change the wording around. Not the wording, but I know you have to put in, if you know how to do websites, right? You SEOs, that's engine optimized. So people, what they search for, right, with the website, then yours comes up. So similarly, you can do that with LinkedIn. Use the words that your people will search for and your profile comes up, right? But what you want to do is to make sure that your profile matches what you're talking about, what you're selling, and what you want them to know about. So you can talk about your expertise, you can talk about your experience, your knowledge. You can, what's worked for me is you can write articles, right? So really have a good schedule or content planning system so that people can see and understand you in different ways. So for me, I do the articles, right? So that's the long form. You're sharing your expertise, your lived experience, if you have that, if that links with what you're talking about. You share your expertise and people read those, right? That's very professional. Newsletters are very professional. So that's one way you can do that. Then your content has to match. So I do both video. I do the carousels, I do the static image, right? And then I also do the newsletter. So I also have a podcast, because you have to find a way to speak to your people in all the ways. They need to hear your voice, they need to see your face, they need to read, the stuff that you write, because now you're touching them in all senses, right? Hearing, seeing, and reading, right? I mean, that's what's worked for me. I know some people will probably just focus on one, and sometimes it's trial and error. There is no hard and fast. In business, there's no hard and fast rule. It's you experimenting, putting something out there, then read the data. The LinkedIn will give you what's working, what's not working, the rating, who's opening, where they're opening from, are they local, are they global, depending on what you're posting. So for me, that's what's worked really, having that content strategy, speaking to your people in different ways, and making sure that really when people come to your space, they know exactly who you are, what you do, and the problem you solve, and how you can help them, and how you can help them, and what you're selling. And then it has to be consistent. There's research that says people need to see you over 11 touches before they can trust you. So you want the law of trust. Someone becomes, it's called, what's the term called? Something around a relationship. They feel they have a relationship with you because they're seeing you consistently. So they have, obviously it's one-sided. There's a special term for it. I don't know what it is. But obviously they feel they know you because you're always talking and you're always sharing. Every day there's something that you're talking about. So proximity, to sort of feel like they know you. So that's the idea around that, and that's what's worked. So social media is easy. You're just there and you're posting and it's free. Then another way to understand positioning is where do your people, and I don't usually hang out because for me I didn't like that. Where are they? Right. So for example, what's worked for me is events. That's another way. And I'm talking about this B2B model. Events where those who are already gathering, whether it's a trade show, whether it's a summit, whether it's a conference, those who are already meeting there, they all have a commonality, right? So for example, let's say for example, an audiologist, where do you find your people? Where do you find those people? To be something related to audiology. So I go to events where my clients are already gathering to learn and to share and to trade. And for me, the difference with finding those spaces is those people are already in the buying and selling mode. So when I go to pitch to them, I'm not afraid to be, and I'm appearing salesy, because we're all there to trade. They're all looking for services and products, and they know there are professionals there and businesses there who are selling their products. So I don't have to have the worry about, am I appearing too salesy? If you have a booth, so that means you're selling your products, you've got a booth where you display your services, people come to you and you have conversations. So I don't need to be conscious about, am I looking salesy? That's what the event is all about. That's the best part for me. I don't have to hide around that, and we're all here for business. We're all transacting, all there to learn and to exchange information and to better serve each other. That's the concept. So maybe something that you can employ within your marketing strategy is go to those events where your people are already being gathered, they're being put. It doesn't have to be you who's putting those people together. Different organizations, event planning, what are they called? Event organizers, right? Already doing that. So you just go there because those were already gathered there. So I'm not spending money in finding them, right, all the time. I'm just already going where they are. So that's something that you could do. That's what's really worked for me to do for positioning. And then the third thing is, you can gather them. This has sort of worked for me. I haven't done this. Well, I sort of done it online where I can run a webinar, some conversation where you bring the businesses together and you share your expertise. If it's an hour, you have a Q&A, and then at the end of the day, you upsell. So you sell the next step of how you can support them. And you can do this. What I've done that's really worked is that I've done that in B2C, where for my advisory, for example, I'll be running an event where I'm gathering women founders, to come together, whether it's a dinner or a workshop or a summit where we're sharing information, networking, for example. That's one way. So you're gathering them, they're coming to you. So you're offering something, might be a talk, a presentation, and then from there you tell them the next step. You upsell is what it's called, right? How they can hire you for ongoing support. Because obviously you've just spoken maybe for an hour, the most 4 hours, 3 hour event, right? You've just given a snippet of what you do. So now people want to go deeper with you, want to invest more in you. This is how you can work with me, and then that's the upsell. So that's how it worked in terms of finding, in terms of positioning yourself. Obviously, again, we spoke about networking in the previous podcast, where we said, you just go to events and people introduce themselves, you introduce yourself, and from there you go see the person who might want your services. I've done this at my networking event. I've met several ladies who have now created my business cards because that's what they do. We get there, I see she's talking about, I do business cards, I do flyers, I do leaflets, I do banners. So I've got a lady to do my business cards for the networking event. I've got a lady who managed to do some software for me. I got my website done from a lady who's in our networking event, networking group. Purchased a cake. One of the ladies in our group is a cake maker, beautiful cakes from I think it was for my son. My son was turning 7 last year. We got a cake. She made a cake for him. You need to understand, what am I selling and where do I find these people? So sometimes that's a strategy for you. Just hang around different networking groups. You keep attending. People get to know you, and then people know you do business cards, you do cakes, you do websites, whatever you do. Then people buy into you. They buy your services. So that's in a nutshell. Obviously, there are a whole lot of other different ways you can market in magazines, and you can do ads on social media. There's a lot of things you can do, but obviously I wanted you to really understand what positioning is, knowing where to find your people. That's what we talk about when we talk about positioning. Where do I get to speak to the people who I want to eventually sell to, right? And sometimes what frustrates people is sometimes some processes are longer. What we call the sales cycle might be longer depending on what you're selling. If you're selling something cheaper, sometimes the cycle is not as long. If you're selling to enterprises and you're selling big high ticket offers and services, then the sales cycle can be longer. But it's all about how do you move out the conversation, the relational conversation that you need to be having, right? So that's all really I can talk about positioning. Let me know if this has been helpful. Again, leave your questions if you want me to go deeper into any one specific thing that I spoke about regarding positioning. Because my message really about starting the advisory studio, I really want to demystify business, because when I started, there was a lot of jargons that I did not understand, like find your people, find out where they hang out, like I started at the beginning. So I just want to make it easier for people, that sometimes the jargon really throws you out, and it only makes sense a year or 6 months later. That's what they were saying. It's because the language sometimes, and sometimes not because they don't give you the information, it's because they're so far ahead. Sometimes simplifying basic concepts is big. And sometimes I need to hear different people saying the same thing, but sometimes a different person can communicate better, right? So that's what I'm really trying to do with the advisory studio, just to demystify, just to break down concepts. So maybe if you're stuck somewhere within your business, then you know what, that's what the studio advisory is. So I'm just simplifying strategies, tools, usual stuff, in order to really get business going. Whether you're starting, whether you're growing, whether you're scaling. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. Again, let me know if this resonated. Let me know what made sense for you, and let me know what still is confusing around positioning. Watch the movie, watch The Materialist. I'll put it in the show notes. That will give you a clear picture of how she really understood her client and where to find them. And sometimes you need to be super creative in finding your people. I think she nailed it. And if you want to really understand it, then you apply that. So obviously we're not dating agencies, right? We're not doing that, but you can find lessons. And that's what I do. I find lessons in a whole lot of different things. So that's what you're gonna have to learn to do. And like I said, business is about trialing and erroring a lot of things, and then what works, you amplify that. So I think that movie really spoke a lot about positioning and understanding how your client thinks, feels, does, and operates really. And she got that, and that's how she got her influx of clients, right? So that's me today. Hopefully this has helped, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to continue learning, continue exploring, and stay open, because that's the easiest thing that you can do as a